Welcome to the second hour of Authentic News right here in RBN Live, where I take your calls. Looking for the list. Julie, I don't see our list here today. Am I missing something? We got the yeah, we got the wow. What I can't see any of them. Why would that be? Uh let's pick it up with JP right off the bat. JP, join the conversation, my friend. What is on your
Hey,
mind
Jim.
today?
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim. Pretty good, man. Beautiful day working on my bike. But I like to start off with the Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And thank God for your show and all your various point of views, people calling in, because you are our information beacon today. And it's hard to get that today with mainstream media. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate your service.
Well, that's much appreciated, JB. Uh, when we get these technological changes, it takes me a while to get the hang of it. So there we are today. Keep going.
Well, I'm tech support, 20 years government contractor, and my own business there on Main Street for years. If you ever need somebody, but I gotta, I need a GoFundMe to go pay for all these goddamn kike lawyers. But anyways, change subject. I got to talk about Canada. Carney coming, talking to Trump. That was just amazing because, oh God, he really schooled him. I mean, he's just like, hey, you want to be the 51st state? And the guy's like, no, no, no. And if you listen to the code word, he said there are places like Buckingham Palace. Why did he say that? Because he worked for the Bank of England. He's a WEFer. He also worked for Bank of Canada, same thing. The only countries in the United Kingdom that fought for their freedom was Ireland. My ancestors that fought after World War One. A bunch of soldiers came back, and Michael Collins, they call them terrorists, but they got the freedom. Canada never fought England. They're still subject to little Prince Charles over there, who claims to be a relative of Mohammed, which is a lie, because Mohammed never had children. He was impotent, and he never had children. That's what divided the Sunnis and the Shiites, because he didn't have an heir, and the generals were fighting each other, and then a Jewish woman killed him. It's a long story. But Canada is still controlled by these guys. And, the nice thing about it is he really did go after this guy. And this guy was talking in code, but if you understood him, he said, hey, we're there to protect you if you ever want to come free from England, free from the Rothschilds, free from the New World Order. We got your back. So that was the code word out of that. What do you think about that angle, Jim?
Yeah, very curious, JP. What is your take?
Well, I really appreciate, Trump standing up to the New World Order and the bankers. And my idea is that, if you look at the Five Eyes, that's, it's Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand. They're all working together. And they were working against Trump with the Russia thing. If you remember with Russiagate, it was a British spy, Steele was his name, and he was an ex-spy, but still was given fake information together with the 51 intelligence agencies that all lied to try to get Trump impeached. And I was just, there are people going to people call up complaining like Alu Akbar, Alex, people that have fake names and have nothing in, the peanut gallery. But I'm the man in the arena, Jim. You know this. You're the man in the arena. That's why they came after you with all these court lawsuits. That's why we both have court cases in the same court case. See, we're the men in the arena. We're fighting the system. And that's what Trump has been doing. And that's what they try to kill him 3 times. So I'm sticking up for him. And I really got to say, Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, I really like what he's doing. He cut 20% of the generals, and he got rid of Admiral Levine. She's gone. She, whatever. Did you hear about that? Levine got fired?
Tell me, what was that? What was the occasion? Why was she fired?
Well, it was because the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the military, that the DEI and the woke stuff had to go. And then, so he had carte blanche, and then he got rid of Waltz, he got rid of the spies and the moles. that Wong guy. He's a Democrat from Obama. And then we have the highest recruit in 30 years with all the DI woke stuff. All the white boys from Alabama are coming in there, which were the front force of the military, especially Washington's Revolutionary Army was my people, Irish and Scotch Irish, who made up half of the military unit of Washington. So it wasn't just Jews paying like a lot of these people from Canada. They all claim responsibility for revolution. No, it was 50% Irish, Scotch Irish. It was a lot of Germans. Unfortunately, your people that were fighting against the Haitians were fighting with the British. They were hired mercenaries, and it was Washington that defeated the Hessians, and actually he got them in the middle of the night and got them to surrender. So he was kind of nice on them. But it was a guerrilla warfare, and that's how we won war. That's how Irish got their independence from the English. That's how the Americans got their independence, with fighting guerrilla warfare. And so we're an independent country, unlike Canadians. And I'm sure I'm going to get these people from the peanut gallery calling me up, criticizing my grandfather. My grandfather was on that battleship it was a destroyer of the Royal Service, and he served it, and he fought. He was the number one gunner, and he took out German destroyers. In Argentina, he took out a lot of men with those big cannons on that destroyer, and he got awarded for that. My cousin still has that award to this day. So any cucks from Canada that never really fought any wars, that sit back in their peanut gallery, and especially people that worship Islam. Now, one last thing, Jim, and I'll make it quick. This war between India and Pakistan is a perfect example of a peaceful, Christ-like religion, which is the Hindus. They're all about non-intervention. They don't even eat meat. They're afraid of killing their animals. They're very peaceful people. I know many Indian people, and they're good people, and they believe in karma. But the Muslims are all about chopping heads off. In Muhammad, and I'll quote a couple books here, Deepak Chopra, and this is a source, and also Bill Federer, that all talk about the life of Muhammad. And I don't want to get into his history, but this is a play out between the Pakistans, which are Muslim, and a peace-loving people, and they were attacked by terrorists, and now they're counterattacking, and they're getting shot down. They're getting attacked by...
Let me tell you, I think it was a false flag. I thought it was real. It's Modi who appears to be the problem and not Pakistan.
No,
so we have a significant disagreement.
Fake news.
Look, JP,
fake news.
I appreciate. JP, I'd say the same to you if you're going to pull that on me. I'm telling you.
Well, I won't go into Israel. I didn't talk about Israel or Gaza or any of that today. I stepped off, like Hitler said. Why step on shit when you could walk around it?
Thanks, JP. Thank
you.
Pete, very much. Peter in Los Angeles. Welcome back, Peter. Long time. Glad to have you here.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. I don't agree that it's a great thing when we've had a peaceful border with the Canadians since the War of 1812, that we haven't had anything that, the local police in Minnesota or Maine or somewhere could take care of, that we have a demilitarized border for over 200 years. And I don't see it as a great triumph to have Trump threatening to invade them. I further don't see it as a great triumph of Trump to threaten to invade a NATO ally, Greenland, which we already have bases in. I mean, why? We already had bases there, right? It's already an ally. We've had bases there forever. Why would he? Why do those things? Why create animosity?
I'm puzzled. I mean, it just boggles the mind, Peter. What is going on with this guy? There's some of us who think he may have been affected by, psychotronics, that he somehow has gone over the edge. He's got this grandiosity. We always knew he was much of a narcissist, but this is so over the edge, so beyond the pale. I'm very, very troubled, wanting to know who the hell is this guy who's president of the United States.
Well, we've always known, and I voted for him 3 times, that he's a bloviating blowhard, and he's an egomaniac, frankly. But I don't think he understands a lot at all. I mean, we went to Wharton, but his lack of knowledge of economics with these tariffs are going to make us rich. Where did he learn? Where did he go to school? I mean, even the Japanese, our staunchest ally, whose constitution we wrote, have called us, coercing them, and that's now being said outright in the Japanese diet, and it's the same thing in Korea. Now, in the long term, we were going to lose Korea, and we were going to lose Japan, and we're going to lose the Philippines, and probably Australia, because of the centrifugal force of the Chinese economy, which is, they don't count in their economic numbers, delivering pizzas to each other like we do, or giving each other massages. That's included. It's hard manufacturing, and what does anybody gain being aligned with our economy? Where we produce nothing. What we do produce is not very high quality, and our population is being impoverished. So we can't even don't even have consumerism as a weapon the way we used to. And so, what is this guy freaking talking about? And so, listen. What would the American businessman be looking at if we weren't sanctioning half the world, more than half the world? If we didn't have tariffs on even our closest allies? If he wasn't threatening the Canadians for the first time in 213 years? What in the world is he thinking of? He's botched the peace with Ukraine with this ridiculous rare earth metal thing that's just giving us a reason to sell weapons to them. He's basically it's a sop to the military-industrial complex, so they can keep selling weapons. And the Atlantics that want to keep us in NATO and tied into his moribund dying.
Peter, what is this middle agreement with Ukraine so that United States continues to provide protection for Ukraine? I mean,
supposedly it gives us another little foot in the door to send weapons or to oppose the Russians. Listen, if he wants peace, stop selling these Nazi, this Jewish regime in Ukraine. Zelensky and his backer, Kolomoisky, and everybody else are all Jews, and his money laundering machine is coming back to both the Democratic and Republican Party. We could kill it off, but he won't do it. He's afraid to do it. And by the way, this guy is so tied into the bankers, they bailed him out like 2 or 3 times from Chapter 11. And it's it's the Jewish bankers that have bailed the guy out. Not like he's some financial genius. He's bailed out because they can use him. He's a useful idiot for these guys.
I think those bailouts were an investment in a guy who had great potential for the future and is paying off handsomely at this point in time.
And liking Hegseth and all these. Listen, he appointed just like he did in his first administration, where he appointed all these traitors and all these guys that turned their back on him and undercut him and all that. He did that in like 2 or 3 different waves. The first wave that he appointed were horrible, and then he replaced them with a second wave, and they were horrible too. Like John Bolton was one of the second waves, and then the third wave. And it's the same thing now. If you give him enough money, he'll appoint anybody. And if you don't like Waltz, well, everybody around Trump has been handpicked and to be appointed, and none of them are his. They're all people who've been the Jews have paid to be there, and he's
so far as
appointed them
I
all.
can tell. Yeah, so far as I can tell, Tulsi's the exception. RFK Jr. to a degree. He's just, I think, subject to blackmail. I still regard them as two good appointments. But most of the
RFK
rest,
Jr. is a moral coward.
Go ahead.
Tulsi, RFK Jr., who won't even acknowledge that Gaza exists. He's a complete sellout to the Jews. However, let him do his work in the, Health and Human Service, whatever. Let him do that. But this guy, his ceiling is very limited because he doesn't have the guts to take on the Jews. That's the real problem. Is taking on the Jews.
Yeah.
And unless you do that, like they're plotting in his own White House. And who did Waltz appoint? That Israeli, that bitch from Israel, works for the foreign ministry, right? I mean, she's still there. We'll wait until the new appointment. Well, Marco Rubio, another diehard neocon, is doing both jobs now.
Yeah,
and
ridiculous.
I mean, what is it? Even Obama, just for the inevitable call that Tom is going to make, Obama deported people at a higher level. He deported more people than Trump did.
That was one of my stories here. Yes, yes.
I heard it. And I sent you a lot of that stuff. Obama deported people at a higher rate than Trump is right now.
You got it right, Peter. You got it right.
He's in what area? Please tell me. And of course, look what he's doing to freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, and can't criticize Israel, can't boycott Israel, can't do this. You get doxxed or silenced. In what area are we doing anything worth a shit?
Yes.
Houthis, we just got run out by the Houthis, but we didn't have to be having got run out by the Houthis. All we had to do was let a little food in, and the Houthis would never have attacked us. Just tell the Israelis to quit starving the Palestinians. That's too much for Trump to do. Got to go with the genocide, and put our ships. And now we've been run out of the Red Sea effectively. And what's going to be his big triumph that he's going to announce on Thursday or Friday? Probably some sort of agreement with Iran, which is nothing but a replay of the JPOA thing that he abrogated in 2018. He had that agreement in place in 2018, and now he's going to make that'll be his big triumph, putting back in place a less secure agreement than what he had already, that even idiot Obama, put in.
What's baffled me, Peter, is that the way he talks about it, it's as though he doesn't realize that Iran's only ever had a peaceful nuclear energy program. He talks about the idea of allowing them to have one, but it could be easily upgraded to military. Well, that's, of course, been Bibi's pitch from the beginning. I don't think he has a clear understanding of any of this. I don't either. It just dumbfounds me. Some of the remarks he makes that imply ignorance of an enormous degree about even elementary facts.
There's a huge number of countries in the world that are Muslim that are totally peaceful, like Iran,
Peter,
right?
Love it. Love your calls, my friend. Thank you, Peter. Wonderful.
Will be second to none. And of course, Henry the Horse dances the waltz.
Layla, I'm so pleased to have you back. Join the conversation, Layla. Layla, are you there? All right. That's
Look at you all, see the love that's sleeping. While my guitar gently weeps. Look at the floor, and I see it needs sweeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why.
who have we got? Have we got Alexander here from Canada? Alexander, are you there? No, Alexander?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I just want to make a couple of points. The Israelis are planning to take over Gaza, and also they want to expel them and send them to a lot of places, including America. See, I don't know if you've heard about or even Europe even. So they're completely implementing their plans of ethnic cleansing and genocide. It's not like and they want to take over Gaza as you mentioned, and also just make a couple of points regarding the first caller, JP. So I disagree with him. And he's saying, the Canadians are like subjects of the British. So Mr. Fetzer, like, what does he want? He wants Canadians to revolt against the British right now and separate. Like, is that the main issue right now? So like, yeah, we're subject to the British. So he should let it go and focus on the problems of his own country. And Donald Trump is causing a lot of problems. I don't know why he's glorifying Trump, and like you said, he wants to he's attacking Canada, he's attacking Greenland. How is that in the American interest? I totally agree with the last caller, Peter from Los Angeles. He's like one of the top callers on the network, and he doesn't and see, I asked you about the tariffs about 2 weeks ago, and Peter answered it like. Donald Trump doesn't know anything about the tariffs. He's damaging the United States, like economically. And but the tariffs is like I'm not into the economics into the economics field, but
yeah.
And
So
also
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so far as I can tell, they're going to be more harmful than helpful, but I don't claim to be an expert on tariffs. Continue, Alexander.
It is right. And also, Mr. Fetzer, the thing is, he mentioned between India and Pakistan, and he said, it's Hinduism versus Islam. So first of all, a lot of Indians are Muslim. It's not just they're like 25% Muslim. They're mostly Hindu, but and he's saying Islam is a religion of violence. Hindu is a religion of peace. See, it has nothing to do with religion. It's all about like the false flag that you mentioned earlier. Like the Indian government started the problem, and they've been fighting for years and years over Kashmir. Well, so it's all political. It's not religious.
Yes.
And see,
Look, I criticize Muslims all the time. Like Muslims living here in Canada, like Muslims living here on welfare that don't speak English or like they wearing the hijab, and so see, there's lots of problems with the Muslims. There's no need to talk about Prophet Muhammad. Like why is he talking about something that happened 1400 years ago?
Alexander, we're hitting a break, but I'm going to carry you over to finish your thoughts. Stand by.
Change my mind and open up the door. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network. Real news, real talk, real people. Because you can handle the truth.
Howdy, cousin.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong?
Just a comment, Alexander. I mean, it seems to me Islam is a peaceful religion. I mean, they account Jesus, Muhammad, Abraham, Moses, all as prophets. I mean, that's not a slash and burn. That's not exterminate all the Christians attitude we get from Judaism in its more virulent variety. So, and my impression of Hindu is a very positive one. Go ahead, Alexander. No doubt you know more about the religious nuances than do I.
Well, see, I don't know much about. See, like, I'm not a religious person, but I just look at the people based on the content of their holy book. Just like you said, they believe in one God. They respect Jesus. Like, they don't believe that he's the Son of God and all that. But
right.
But see, I'm just saying that. See, in my opinion, JP and people condemning Muslims and condemning Mexicans and condemning whatever is a good thing. But we should all condemn whoever's doing wrong. But the thing is, he says Prophet Muhammad did this in 1400 years ago. Like, see, let's talk about what the Muslims are doing now. Like they're not like the people that come here that don't speak English. They're like on welfare. They're wearing the hijab. They're wearing the niqab. That's when women cover their face, looking like a mess. They're building mosques. You see, that's the problem with the Muslims. I see. I don't see that. Like, see, who cares about what happened 1400 years ago and whether Prophet Muhammad didn't have any kids or not? Like I don't like nobody. Like, I don't care about that. But see, every time he calls, he brings that up. So yeah, like and so I said that Peter from Los Angeles made a good call, and
yeah, thanks.
And Lila made a good call yesterday. Yeah, thank you.
I like your calls too, Alexander. Let's try Henry from Connecticut. Henry from Connecticut, join the conversation. Henry.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay? You can hear me okay, right?
Go ahead.
I'm not getting
Only faintly.
Okay.
Faintly.
Yeah, okay. Oh, faintly? All right. Hold on. Can you hear me better now? You hear me better now?
What's the deal, Henry? We can't hear you. Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Yeah. And by the way, I was going to say this. I like Layla. She's very educational, and she gives a lot of really information, including that Palestinian or that website she gave, but it was months ago. She's right on. Is right on, too. But here's something I'd like to address to both of them, as well as everybody else in the audience out there. You know, all this stuff about Trump.
You must be too close. You must be too close to your mic because your words are being garbled. Can you step back just a hair, a couple inches? Try again.
Sorry, what about now? Am I good now?
Better,
Okay,
better.
all right.
Go ahead.
All right, okay. Here's the thing. You mentioned about Trump and a blockade. You're talking about a blockade in favor of Israel blocking Gaza, so it's like sort of caught in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about, or some other blockade of another country? You talking about that? Hello?
Well, the Houthis are doing their best to blockade. They even want to create an airspace that's hazardous over Israel because of the starvation. The Houthis are the ones who seem to me to be taking the most action among any Muslim nation. I'm very disappointed that others haven't stepped up to defend the Palestinians. I'm not quite sure what other blockades you might have in mind. Go right ahead. Go ahead.
No, I thought it sounded like I heard that Trump was forming some kind of blockade to say that as fascists over there in what I call the SLC, which is that shitty little country, like Daniel Bernal, after the UN. Yeah,
Henry.
So that's what I thought. And I was saying, who's going to, because let me say this about Trump, and I hope Tom is listening too. And I have to say this. I got to let everybody know this. I'm in the party. Okay, I vote in the party. I'm a younger guy, but not like 20s or early 30s. I may sound much older. I vote in the party. I have been. I worked in the polls. I still do when they call me. I don't do campaigning on the street. As far as Trump goes, I voted for him 6 times. Okay, so Tom, you out there listening, I understand it. But here's the thing. Trump, to me, I voted for the guy 6 times. You have the primary and the general election, the primary and the general election. The other election, you got hijacked from, and they're voting for this one. The primary and the general election. He's a disappointment.
Yes.
I would say this. I agree with Tom. I agree with you, Tom, with this, though, okay? With the immigration part and this third world toilet coming in here, like what Jeff Rent says, that I'm 100% in Trump for. Although I think he's playing a game there a little bit. But there is some results with that. He's getting some people out of there. I don't know whether he's just getting rid of the violent criminals and he's not going to get rid of the others. That remains to be seen. We don't know. He's just going to be fooling us there with that. Now, here's the other thing. With the thing with Gaza, though, okay, and I'm going to tell you, I look on YouTube. The Irish in Ireland, especially, they're set up with the immigration stuff in Ireland. But the Irish Parliament in Ireland is vivid. They're really pissed. They gave 31 million euros in humanitarian aid to help with Gaza. They're pissed at Assad. They have Netanyahu. They're pissed at that whole stuff going on in Gaza. By the way, I'll tell you what the YouTube pages are. Breeze Politics, or Breeze Politics. There's one. There's many of them. There's another one called Middle East Eye and another one. But the Irish there in the Parliament, they're disgusted with that stuff going on. And that's the thing. The Irish are fed up. They're pissed. Some of the Germans are pissed. The government at the top is, rigged like, the Swedes are pissed. They're disgusted. And now you also have the young Turks. They're mostly staunch Democrats. Yeah, now that woman, the blonde girl there, that's Armenian, she's fed up. They're all saying...
Henry, I'm sorry, the connection is so bad, but I'll say there's overwhelming evidence that the younger people across the parties, Democrat, Republican, young people are very much against Israel and the genocide. I think it's a very positive sign for the future. I hope next time you call, you might try a different phone because the connection was really quite bad. Meanwhile, Jeff in Ottawa. Jeff, join the conversation, Jeff.
Business as far as criticizing other people's country. Okay, and first of all, there is no Coleman Clunan who won the British Victoria Cross. I looked it up. All through the only Coleman who won was John Coleman in 1858. So I challenged this guy. I'm not going to listen to him anymore. But I challenge him to send you the proof, and I'll trust you to make the decision because it's stolen valor and it's despicable. As far as him criticizing Canada, a guy from Chicago with 600 murders a year, and who they have who do they have as the governor? A Jew who runs them. The place is one of the most corrupt, crooked places in the world. I'd rather live in Yemen than that garbage place. And another thing, too, is most Americans, even on this channel, I want to say something. Most of the Americans who call in, they don't know anything about this country. So don't call in because you sound stupid, okay? Only a few of you do. Layla calls in. That's good, Alexander. Americans just don't know the country. I don't like the British. I don't like the King. I detest them. Okay, I don't like this. I didn't vote for Carney. I didn't vote for Palivri. I voted for a third party. My first time I voted, I was 18 years old. I wanted to see what it was like. I knew even in my late teens that politicians are criminals. 90-some% of them criminals who deserve death. Okay, now as far as the United States goes, you talked about us being dominated by British. You guys are dominated by all the Jews. They openly own your Congress. Come on. Yeah. Now, what's going to happen in the next election? Here's my prediction. My prediction in the next election, Gavin Newsom is right now trying to position himself as a centrist, okay? And Trump passing executive orders means nothing. They can be wiped out of the stroke of a pen. He has to get legislation passed. He's got to clean up the voting system legislation. But he can't because he has so many rhinos in the party. He's dead in the water. Whoever comes in next, I believe it will be Gavin Newsom. I really do, and I don't think it's a good thing. Yeah, but I think that's the way it's going. This other guy, this vice president, he has the charisma of a wet FART. Okay, he is not presidential material. He got in there, as you know, he was put in by that faggot guy, whatever his name was, the multi-billionaire. Without him, he's nothing. I don't even know what his real name is. He's had several. I don't know what he is, but there's no way that guy's presidential material. I hate to say it. So I think you guys better clean up yourself with Israel. Israel has got you into the war. First of all, they put you against Iran. They funded that. And, billions of American dollars down the drain. And all sorts of American lives lost when they went and invaded Iraq. Okay? And war after war after war where you guys, your citizens are being slaughtered and billions of dollars going down the drain. They have medical aid. They have free medical in Israel, but not you guys. You guys would go bankrupt so you can give money to those people who have medical. It's absolutely disgusting. And I think these fires and all the other things going on over there are divine intervention, it seems like to me. As far as the difference between Islam is a filthy religion. He was a pedophile. He had sex with a 6-year-old. Israel is bad, too. Israel, they say you can have sex with a 3-year-old. They say that Adam, you can look this up, it's in their filthy Talmud, had sex with all of the animals but found no satisfaction until he had sex with Eve. How filthy and disgusting is that? Look it up. Okay? And thanks for taking my call.
That's right. Yeah. Well, certainly you got a chance to say your piece, Jeff. Thank you for sharing all that. Renee, always a pleasure, girl. Join us.
Am I on? Oh, okay.
You're on.
Okay. Yeah. I enjoyed some of his points. Peter too. And Peter was right. Obama has deported more people than Trump ever has. And the thing is, it was supposed to be all these criminals. Apparently, they're having such a hard time finding criminals. They've got to scrape the bottom of the barrel, deporting citizen children 2, 4, and 7 years old, one of which has cancer. So the thing is, yeah, I'm feeling safer now, aren't you? Oh, now those kids are gone, those citizen kids. So, it's like I thought it was going to be criminals, they told us, okay? Something really stinks here. So, I don't want to rain on, we really need the vets to step up to the plate. And I'm glad to see Peter has really come around, and he's making some great points. The thing is, and I hate to kind of rain on y'all's parade, but all of y'all weren't fighting for freedom and democracy. You were fighting for profits for Wall Street, okay? And y'all need to get over that. I know it's hard, and I don't want to hurt y'all's feelings, but the thing is, when I've been duped and used, I'm angry. I'm not proud, okay? The thing is, this was all, so much has been revealed, It's like, and they get y'all to kill other people and each other, so rich guys on Wall Street and the bankers and stuff make money. And until the vets say no more and we tell the truth about that, it's just not going to stop. This is about resources. I heard a fabulous show today. Now, I know Kim Iverson is what some would call a mongrel, but she's a beautiful mongrel, part Vietnamese and Caucasian. She and very smart woman. She's really on the ball. I like her. She had this guy on that I have never heard of before, this Theo Wilson. He is a black man who's traveled all through Africa and everything, and he was the advisor to RFK Jr. until he went with Trump. Then he quit. He would not go with Trump, but when he was an independent, he was this guy. He was RFK Jr.'s advisor about affairs in Africa, and I heard something about this kind of weird little country, Burkina Faso or something like that. There's some young African leader over there, and I'd seen things about him, but I wasn't sure because I didn't know the source. But since Iverson is talking about this leader in this little country in Africa, and this black man who was an advisor to RFK Jr. talking about it, I'm like, oh, you have my attention now. I'm believing this, okay? And what it is, he's very popular now. The West is demonizing him. In fact, the title of Kim Iverson's show is Why the West Wants This African Leader Dead, okay? Apparently, because he's standing up for the people. What people don't realize is, see, the U.S. and France a lot have been, covertly, robbing the resources out of the continent of Africa for a long time, and they're tired of it. They don't mind being in partnership with people, but they kind of are tired of being financially raped, okay? So the thing is, there's this little guy over there. There are some, because people don't realize this. We need trade. The continent of Africa, from what this guy says, has everything it needs on that continent. It could be independent. It is full of resources, okay? And they don't mind partnering with people and working with people, but they're tired of being screwed, okay? And so this was let me tell you, all you people that think you're so smart because you're white, I'd put you up against this black man that Kim Iverson had on her show any day in a debate. What an intelligent and worldly man who knows what he's talking about. Like I say, RFK Jr. picked him as an advisor for him. And I tell you what, this interview would be an eye-opener to a lot of people why the West wants this African leader dead, Kim Iverson.
Thank you. Thanks for all that. Thanks for all that, Renee. Makes me remind everyone, I'm having this debate with Jeff Nyquist at 9 o'clock tomorrow night about JFK, right here on RBN. Don from Arizona promised $1,000 to support RBN if I would do this debate with Jeff Nyquist. He's going to defend the Oswald lone gunman theory, believe it or not, and I'll be suggesting the situation may have been just a bit more complex. So I want to encourage everyone to tune in, check it out. And I'm very grateful to Don for inspiring all this. Renee, thanks for a great call. We got Layla back. Layla, join the conversation, please.
All of this talk about the past and this person and that person and this enemy and the deportees and the what. You've got a lot of enemies in the U.S. So have we in Canada. But the biggest, the one group of people that need to be ejected and deported are the Jews. The Jews are the biggest enemy of this whole effing planet. And I mean Jews, not just Zionists, because the Jews that have tolerated Zionism are equally guilty. I am contradicting myself. I know that. I have always believed that there are some good Jews. Yeah, but they're not good enough. There aren't enough of them. They are destroying your country. They have mesmerized and controlled your presidents from the very beginning, starting with Washington. Every single one of them. And the worst part, listen to Mur Bailey's show on Sunday night, the second hour. I talk about how there was only one British lord in the war cabinet who said they are trying to steal Palestine. The irony is, Lloyd George and Balfour, Lloyd George, who was a promiscuous whoremonger, was the prime minister. And the retard, and he was a Welshman, and Balfour was an idiot. And they just ignored him. The other guy, along with Lord Curzon, who said, Chaim Weizmann, who was working for the Zionists, who was the chief talker because he made a deal with Winston Churchill, one of the most evil creatures to ever walk this planet. Winston Churchill, anyway, there was one other man who said, this is wrong, it is unfair to the people of the region, and that was a Jew named Lord Montagu. But right now, they finally, in 1922, both Balfour and Lloyd George admitted that they knew all along that the Chaim Weizmann and the Zionists, a made-up word, were out to steal Palestine. They knew it, and Trump knows it, and Trump is just as guilty. How many hundreds of thousands of people have died? How many of them have ended up as people that you ridicule? Okay, Muslims are assholes. I admit it. There are a lot of them that I despise. They're radical, they're extremists, their culture does not belong amongst us. But where are they going to go since we destroyed their world? Those of us, my whole family was torn apart. We were upper crust, we were wealthy because we were one of the first Christian families of Bethlehem. We owned land, we owned everything, and it's gone. And part of it was stolen by cousins. But and this is why, let's not romanticize about Arabs, Palestinians. There are a lot of crummy Arabs and a lot of crummy Palestinians. But they were victimized as a group. The people of Gaza have suffered the most. The people in the West Bank have been pampered compared to what has happened to the people of Gaza, who came from the West Bank and the areas that Israel now controls. Those animals, those beasts, they're beneath the status of animals. They are not even as good as cockroaches. They are beasts. They are monstrous. They did not start out that way. They just started out as simple thieves who wanted to steal and take over the world. They are not the people of the land, as you all know by now. So what are you going to do about Trump? Are you going to let him destroy the rest of the country over the next 3.5 years? Is that what you're going to... You're talking about the next election. What effing next election? What makes you think there's going to be anything left of this country? Once these locusts that call themselves Jews or Zionists have devoured you, what is going to be left for the next election? How many of you will be alive for the next election? After they've managed to create... Where do you think those COVID vaccines were created? In Israel, in that illegal gangster gang. You've got to get rid of them. It's either you or them. They have a saying, rise up and kill. If anyone is a potential enemy, rise up and kill him first. Well, I'm telling you, defend yourselves. Defend yourselves. Kill them. Get rid of Trump. Get rid of him one way or the other. Use legal means. Use impeachment. The man is crazy. He's insane. Yeah. He's got multiple personality disorder along with narcissism and schizophrenia. He has no idea what the hell is going on. As for the British and Carney, I despise them. I despise the British. They knowingly stole my country and gave it to the most evil people creatures on this planet. They're not even people, they're creatures. It's the nicest thing I can say about them. But save yourselves. As I was waiting, before I had to stop because I had a call come through, an important call, I was listening to the Beatles song yesterday, and it made me want to cry. It made me, I don't normally like the Beatles song, but yesterday I was half the man I used to be. America is not even half the country it used to be. My God, get rid of them. They're the dangerous ones you have to deport. All the others are minor dangerous. And by that, I mean creeps like that so-called Palestinian Bukele, who's imprisoning people.
I'm on the air. I'll be done in just a couple of minutes. I'll call you right back. Yeah, go ahead, Layla.
I'm
Finish.
sorry, Jim.
You are very powerful, very powerful. What we're going to have left is a hell of a good question. What we're going to have left? Yes.
What are you going to have left? What next election? What are we talking about? There is no next election. Yes, the Muslims are a problem because they will take out revenge on you. They're another problem, but they're the second problem. Your first problem is those Jews and those Yiddishers and those Zionists. They are Yiddishers. They are beasts. They are beneath beasts. And that animal, God, I don't know if you're aware of what the Italians did to Mussolini at the end of World War II. Oh, God.
Layla, thank you.
Save yourself.
Thank you.
Save yourself. Save your lives.
Thank you. Thank you for such a heartfelt expression of concern. Awesome. Meanwhile, spend as much time with your family, your friends, the people you love and care about, because especially with a war breaking out between Pakistan and India, we do not know how much time we have left. Use it wisely. Support RBN and check out that debate tomorrow night. See ya tomorrow.